very important thing is this story. There are only three-dimensional characters in the story.
Uh, Thank you all for the chance to chat. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Me too.
Honestly, Rise of Raven is so much fun. It's one of those series that truly looks epic on the big screen. And I would love to hear why tell this story? Why bring this one to life?
You know, because Hungary is a small country in a kind of a remote corner of Europe, it's also the frontier, and it always has been, between East and West. And as a result, it's been the center of conflict for many centuries, and thus it is replete with phenomenal stories, many of which are unknown outside of its borders. This is such a story. This is the story of a man called Janos Hunyadi, who rises from a little village to become governor of the country, and it's a military hero. And ultimately his destiny is to defeat a much larger invading army of the Ottoman Empire, which has set its sights in conquering Western Europe, and having overrun all of the neighboring countries. There was only one army remains between the conquering Ottoman and the Vatican, which is their destination, and that's the much smaller Hungarian army, which against all odds defeats the Ottoman Empire, and by so doing saves Western Europe. And in honor of that victory, the Pope decreed 550 years ago that church bells are ringing each day. And so that's really the entry point to this story, the noon bell, which if you Google those words, you will actually get the whole story. For me, that was a phenomenal universal theme that was unknown in most of the world. And I thought, since I am Hungarian, though I've left most of my life in Canada, I sort of took it upon myself for this to be my mission, to bring that story outside of its own borders, and yet keep it real, original, and authentic, and shoot it in the languages in which the history takes place. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. And actually, Robert, as I was thinking about this too, I mean, you're bringing history to life. Did you feel a pressure because of the legacy of the story for accuracy, or did you feel like you had some freedom to bring these characters to life?
It's like a cocktail of the two. So look, the actual historical events are reproduced faithfully in the series, and which in the series itself is based on a series of historical novels. And so the events themselves we honored the facts as they are known. Now, nobody was around in the 15th century as the dialogue between the characters. We don't exactly know who said what to who. We don't really know, their whispers and their romantic inclinations. All we know is Hunyadi was married to Elizabeth. We know certain things. We know that he spent some time as a mercenary in Milan, where in the employ of the Duke of Milan. We know we have those givens are all respected historically, but the rest we took liberties with, because ultimately this is historical fiction. So the dialogue is invented in order to maximize and enhance the characters. And that was the real focus, is to bring these characters to life in flesh and blood. And to do that, those sitting next to me took over.
We see this world, and Hunyadi, am I saying that properly? Hunyadi?
What? Yeah.
Yes. He sort of stands out amongst these other men who are backstabbing, and there's a sense of honor to him. But in your mind, what makes him unique in this world where betrayal is so common?
You know, Hunyadi, Janos Hunyadi was an incredible person on his life. Um, he came from modest beginnings, and he was not born into high noble family, but through hard work, dedication, and willpower, he quickly rose to the level of knight. And he was a complex character because he was still a child when he witnesses Ottoman raiders kill his family, kill his father, and brutally rape or murder his mother. And though he escapes, but these experiences stay with him for the rest of his life and instilling him a lifelong quest for revenge. So he was very courageous, and he was very passionate and quick to anger, especially after he's losing his family. But as he grew older, he learned to control his feelings and found new focus in his life. And he was a fallible man, like anyone else. But his commitment to his family, his man, his homeland was unshakable. And yes, it was a wonderful opportunity to portray an iconic historical figure, to portray a Hungarian national hero who holds great significance in the Hungarian history. And this story is not only an epic tale of a hero born in Hungarians, but it goes beyond the borders of Hungary. And yes, I think he was one of the largest Hungarian hero. Yeah. And this was a huge responsibility and opportunity to portray him.
Honestly, his character is one of the central figures, but Francisca Elena, that takes nothing away from the women in this series. I really am impressed at the strength of these women, especially Mara. Mara is because these are characters in a toxic world, but there's a real strength to them. And I wondered for you both, what excited you most about these stories, because they could have gone another direction in many ways, but there's a real fury and passion amongst these women.
Yeah, when I first read only the casting scenes, I immediately felt that it's something really, really special. It's a woman who I really want to portray because she's strong, she's honest, and she has a certain kind of power. And later on, you will see. I don't want to spoil anything, but she really, really commit like anything later on to save her loved ones. It's really important for her. She realizes that she has a certain kind of influence on the Sultan, and she starts to use this. So that's the very important thing is this story. There are only three-dimensional characters in the story. Janos Hunyadi is also a hero, but at the same time, he's just a simple, a person with triumphs and struggles, and Mara is the same. And still, yeah, Mara has a really tragic story. She has to leave behind all of her loved ones and her first love. So it's quite difficult, but she doesn't want to give it up. She wanna survive. She wanna live. I don't know. She has faith that she can help her brothers, her loved ones, her first love, and yeah. So it's such a complex story that I really, really felt that it was already in the script, but I wanted to strengthen this feeling that it's really a complex character, and Mara has also sometimes can be manipulative, or you know, she's also not only a saint, you know, and that's the most interesting part. And also it was very challenging for me because I had to learn Turkish for these roles. I have to speak as a native Serbian, which was quite difficult. I really love challenging situations, so it was a blast for me to learn those languages. But this is my favorite thing in this show, that we use languages, and I think I hope audience will appreciate it, that they don't get something, they get something really original, because every character uses their own historical languages in this show. I hope audience will like it and appreciate it. We love that one.
And Elena gets to act in her native language, in Italian.
Yeah,
I do, which is very rare, and I was very grateful that I got to do that. And my character comes in the third episode, and the third episode is entirely set in Italy. And I always think, you know, if people are so fascinated with the country, then why don't they want to fully like be immersed into that country? And part of that immersion is also hearing the language, and yes, and I think this series does that successfully, and I think it's wonderful that we got the opportunity to act in our own languages and really tell these stories.
You haven't seen episode 3 yet, then?
Yes, I've seen the first 3 episodes. Yes.
Oh, you've seen 3.
Great.
Yes. And I love the series is beautiful. It's like I said, it's sweeping. The scope is there. The characters are solid. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where the journeys go. So honestly, thank you all so much for the time. It really is a lot of fun. And knowing that the depth of history behind it makes it something special. So thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.